What's going on, everyone? This is Brandon Hill, and today I'm going to teach you how to make your first house beat if you're a complete beginner in the Maschine. So let's get into it. So if you're a complete beginner, you're going to open up Maschine. It's probably going to look like this right here. The first thing you'll want to do is go to Browser, and up here you could browse your groups, sounds, instruments, effects, loops, and one-shots. So the first thing we'll do to make a basic house beat is go to groups, and we're going to use a stock kit so everybody that's brand new can have this kit available to them. So we'll go to Maschine, and then we'll load up the 909 kit. So this kit right here. Okay, now we have the kit loaded up, and to see all the instruments and sounds, just press pad mode and you'll see everything right here. So you have your kick, snare, clap, and so forth. And you'll notice if I hit this softly, you can barely hear it. And if I hit it harder, you could hear it a lot. And one thing I like to do is keep fixed velocity on right here. So every time you hit it, no matter how hard you hit it, it's gonna play at the same volume. So by default, every project opens up at 120 BPM, and you could keep it at that. If you want a faster pace house song like Tech House or something, you could set this to 125 BPM. And now we're ready to record our beat. And there's two ways that you can record the basic house beat, and I'll walk you through them. I prefer one over the other, but I'll show you both. First thing we're gonna do is press pattern, set the pattern length right here to 1 bar. So you see it's 1 bar, and on the screen you can see we have 1 bar. First we'll record the kick, then the clap, and then the open hi-hat, because those are the three main elements to a house beat. The three core elements: a kick, a clap, and an open hi-hat. We'll start recording, and to stay on beat, we'll keep the metronome on. So hit shift, metro, and then shift record. And we're gonna record the kick to the beat of the metro. And you can see how this is kind of off right here, and you aren't going to record it perfectly. So what you can do is you highlight this and you hit shift, quantize, and this will make sure everything's on beat. You can hear how it's on beat with the metronome. Okay, so while things are still recording, we're gonna record the clap here and here. And then we'll quantize that again. Okay, the next element is this open hi-hat, which is always going to be on the third beat. So 1, 2, 3, so right here, and so forth. This is where you get the boots and cats. So the boots is the kick, the cats is the clap, and the boots in cats. So the in part is the open hi-hat, if that makes sense. Quantize it again. Okay, there you go. You have a basic house beat. Now I'm going to clear this out. I'm going to show you the way that I prefer to get these core elements down, and the way that's a lot faster and easier. I'm going to select this kick right here, and you know which instrument is selected when it's highlighted here. So select the kick, and then you're going to go to step mode. And step mode basically lays out this 16 pads as the 16 beats in a bar. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and so forth. So these 16 spots right here correspond to these 16 pads. And a basic house beat has a 4 to the floor kick pattern, which basically means that every 4 beats there's a kick. So what you're going to do is lay these 4 kicks right here, and now you have this. Now you'll go back to pad mode, select your clap so it's highlighted, and the clap will go on the 2 and the 4 here. Okay. Next, you're going to do the open hi-hat, so select that, go to step mode, and it's on the 3rd beat. Okay. So you can see how that's much easier and much faster. You don't have to worry about quantizing, and you can lay out these core elements. So the next part of our beat that we could do, we could add a bass to this. What I did is I added a new group here. I'm going to go to Browser, and for this, I'll navigate to Instruments. So let me go to Instruments, and I'll go to massive here, and then right here, right now it says all types. You could scroll, and then you could find bass right there. So you could scroll through all of this and go to bass. And then we're just going to find a bass sound that we like. And one thing you could do is you could play the beat while you're testing or browsing basses to see what would sound good with it. Okay, I like this one here. So now if I'm in pad mode, you see that this bass is right here, but we want to create a melody out of the bass, and we could do that by going to keyboard. So when you hit keyboard, now you can see that these notes are laid out. And this is, right now it's in chromatic, which means it's just the regular order of the piano. But if you want to have only major keys, you could select major, or if you want to have only minor keys and minor scales, then you would select minor. And that's what I typically do and what's typically done in house. And right now we're in the scale of C, and you could know the root note right here is C3. If you wanted to go to A minor, for example, you could hit these semitone buttons up or down. So if I go down, now I'm in A minor. If I go up, now I'm in B minor and C. And if you want to go, you hear how this is really low? If you want to move up an octave, you would press this here. And down an octave. So that's a little lesson on the keyboard, and I'm just gonna play around and see what kind of bass line I like. Okay, I might record that, and that felt like it was 4 bars, so I'm going to set my pattern length for this group to 4 bars. Go back to keyboard mode, and then I'll record that. Quantize it. Okay, now we have a bass. And one thing I'll also show you is I could record the same thing using this note repeat button right here. So I'm just going to clear everything. And the note repeat button, when it's activated, it will hold a note and repeat it to this rate right here. So 1/16 means it's going to repeat every 16th bar. So let's listen to that. If you go to 1/8, it's going to repeat every 1/8 of a bar. So that sound right there is kind of what I just recorded. It's kind of like this. So I'm going to try to record it by using the note repeat this time. Okay, we have that, we have the bass, and now you could add loops. You could add percussion loops, for example. So let's add another group here, go to your browser, and now we'll go to the loop section. Okay, we're at loops, and you want to go to you want to browse here and go to percussion. And then you could view subtypes with this one. So I want to do a shaker. So I'm going to go to shaker. I'm going to browse a shaker loop that I think sounds good. And you can play this while... Okay, this one sounds good here. So I'm going to load that up. Now I have this shaker right here. And you can see on the screen that is loaded up. And you see how it extends out there? That means that the loop is actually 2 bars long. So I'll just extend that out. And now let's listen to our beat. And right now the bass is kind of loud, so I'm going to go to the mixer. I'll press this up. I'm going to lower the group that has the bass a little so it's not so overpowering. Okay, let's add another loop. Let's do maybe some congos or something. So we're going to go back to browser. I'm already in percussion, and now I'm going to go to conga. And you could browse what you have and see what sounds good. Let's try this one. Hit load. And now let's extend this out. So this one's 4 bars long, and now we have this. I'm going to lower it down a little. Okay, let's say this is a pretty basic beat, but I'm just showing you how to build your first beat from scratch. So let's say these are all the elements that we have. And now we want to start to create an arrangement. So the first thing we're going to do is go to scene. And right now we have one scene. And think of a scene as like a section of a song. So sections, you usually have your intro, you have a build-up, a drop, a break, a build-up, a drop, and those are like little chapters of the song. So the scene, think of the scene as the first section. So we could create the intro with this first scene right now. And here in ideas mode, which is what we're in right now, you could use these knobs to deactivate these patterns right here. So for example, let me play it and I'll twist these off. Now I'll take out the bass. I could take out this. I could take out the drums. So this is the starting point of creating every scene and arrangement. Is you start off here and you start to think about, what do you want for the intro? What do you want for the build-up? What do you want for the drop? The drop will typically have all these elements, and you just kind of create what sounds good to you. So one thing I like to do with the drums is I like to copy this pattern here multiple times, and you could do that by holding Option on your keyboard and dragging this down. I might have, in the intro, I'm not going to have the kick. I'll bring the kick in later. So I might delete this here, and now I have this. And then this one here, I might just delete the kick, but then keep the open hi-hat and the clap. And then this one here will have all the elements. So let's just imagine we're starting here and we want to start the song with just the bass and this clap maybe. Or even better, we could just start it with the bass alone. Okay, that sounds good. So this might be the intro scene. And from here, you'll hit Shift, duplicate, and now you have a new scene here. So now that the scene is duplicated, you could add an element for the next scene or the next chapter of the song. So now in this scene, we might want to bring in the clap. And you could toggle back and see what this scene sounds like. Okay, now we'll do the same thing. Shift, duplicate, and now we might want to bring in the congos, for example. So let's see what that sounds like. And then maybe we'll bring in this. Actually, let's keep it there. The next scene, duplicate again, and now we have a fourth scene here. Now we'll bring in that one with the open hi-hat. So this is what all of our scenes are sounding like. Okay, let's make another scene by Shift, duplicate, and now let's bring in all the elements. So now we have everything. Okay, so let's say we have our scenes now and we want to create a song. So how do we do that? So once we're here, I'm going to press Scene, and then I'm going to press this Append button right here. And what this does is when it's selected and highlighted like that, when you hit these pads right here that represent all the scenes, it's going to append it or add it to your song. So let's just add these in order. I'm going to go scene 1, scene 1, 1, 1, 2, 1, 3, 1, 4. Now you can see here in this display that the scenes with the patterns have been added. And this is the song view. And right here, up here is ideas view. And to get to song view, you could hit this toggle right here. So now you're in song view and you can see that your song is laid out with the scenes here. So once again, ideas view, song view. And let's listen to this arrangement. Okay, that's a basic arrangement. Let's say I want to make this scene a little longer. So what I could do here is I could select this scene. You see how it's selected? And right here, its length is set to auto. And I could increase this to 8 bars. And you could see on the screen how it increases like that. So let's say we want that at 8 bars. And let's say that this is our drop, and after we're going to have a breakdown. And let's make the breakdown scene 1, 2 again. So right here, I could hit this plus button, right click, go to select, and you could do scene 1, 2. So that's another way to add to your song. So now you have this. And then let's add scene 1, 3 again. And then we'll add scene 1, 4, which will be the drop again. And now we've kind of repeated ourselves. And we could make this 8 bars again. So we have an intro, kind of a long intro. Right here, these two scenes could be a build-up, and this could be a drop right here. And then we have a break and a build-up again into another drop. So another thing that house music has is a snare roll. And we can do that by, I'll show you how to do that. So let's add another group here. So now we have this group selected. Let's go to browser, and we'll go back to groups again. I'm going to use the Maschine 909 kit again. Okay, so the 909 kit's loaded up. It's the same kit that we originally had. What I'm going to use is a snare, because we are going to create a snare roll. So what I'm going to do is add a clip right here. So what you'll do is you'll double click, and now a clip has been added. And you can see that it says clip right here. I'm going to drag this for this whole 8 bars right here. Okay, so now we have this empty clip, and we're going to add the snare. If you hit E on your keyboard, it'll turn your mouse into a pencil, and you could draw in notes like this. So you could do it like this, and this is what it would sound like. But this right here, you see the velocity, it's all at the same level. That means everything's hitting at the same level of volume, which isn't realistic. So I don't prefer to do it that way. What I'm going to do is draw in these 4 notes, and then hit E again to turn your cursor back from a pencil to an arrow. And you see how these are all 100? That's your velocity. I'm going to just vary this. So maybe I'll do that, 73, 79, and now you can listen to this. So you can see that when someone's doing a snare roll in real life, they're not all going to hit at the same time. So I think this just makes it sound more realistic. And you could highlight these 4 right here, and on your keyboard hit Control D or Command D, and then you could just duplicate everything until it's filled up. All right, so this is what you have now. Okay, we have the snare going for this 8 bars, but this doesn't sound good right now. We want the snare to have some effects or automations with it, so it can start off quiet or whatever and build up and create some build up and tension and then release into this. So what we're going to do is we're going to automate the volume of this snare roll. I'm going to go right here, go to channel, and then you see output right here and level. This is the level of the snare roll. So watch as I turn this down. Okay, so I have the level real low. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit Shift Record, and then to automate, I'm going to hold Auto, and I'm going to turn the level up over time of this 8 bars. I'm going to hit Record right here, or with Record, I'm going to press play. And then as I get close, I'm going to hit Auto. Okay, now you see this? That means automation has been recorded, so now let's listen. Okay, that's okay. We've got a little bit of a drop so far, but I want to create more space here before the drop comes in. So I'm going to put in some empty clips just by double clicking right there. And you can see I'll undo this, but when you add an empty clip, it just silences that part right there. You see nothing's right there. So we have. So let's drag this back a little. Drag it like, let's see, and we'll add one here. Okay, so we have this here. It's not the best drop, but I'm just trying to teach you as a complete beginner so you get the idea. But what we're trying to do here is cut out the snare roll, leave some space, so when the drop happens, it comes in emphatically with all the energy. So let's see what this sounds like. Okay, that's a little better. Okay, so let's work with that. And then let's just say on the drop here, there's not enough impact on the drop. This kind of goes into it. So what I'm going to do is convert. Double click so this is selected. And now we are going to convert this to clips. So right click, hit convert to clips. And now you have all these clips created right here. So I'm going to edit this first one here. And let's use this crash. We're going to add a crash right here on the first beat. So once the drop hits, you're going to hear this crash. So let's see how that sounds. Okay, and that's a little loud, so I'm going to go to the mixer. I'm going to go the 909 kit, go down to this crash, and I'll just bring it down. Let's see. Okay, so there's a little more of an impact. And at this point, we've created a little house beat, and hopefully as a beginner, this didn't go too in depth for you. Hopefully you were able to follow everything. I think we touched on a lot of aspects of building a beat, such as creating the pattern, using step mode, editing your patterns and scenes and ideas mode, and then going to song mode and laying out a song. We used some clips to create a snare roll, and we converted some patterns to clips so we could edit them. So if you want to see more advanced house songs, look at some of my other house videos where I show the songs that I've made, and you can look at that. Let me know what you thought of this tutorial and what else you'd like to see, and with that I'll play this full song from the beginning. Thanks.